ending all the rumors and false beliefs about the legendary beasts.
The Cherokee people had stories of giant hair-covered people-like things in the woods. They were doing the same sort of things as the people of the Pacific Northwest described.
Oh, come on inside!
These videos show the truth. From hardly seen sights to barely visible creatures, I have it all you need to see to believe the otherworldly presence in our world.
Please, no, please!
In a remote woods, a hunter walked silently, searching for his prey. Instead of striking his intended prey, he accidentally struck a completely different creature. But it wasn't an animal, a furry creature, eyes blazing with fury. The hunter realized he had an encounter with a Bigfoot. This wasn't just any mistake, it could be his last mistake. The giant beast stood against him. He knew he was in serious trouble. As the Bigfoot took a step towards him, the hunter wondered if he'd ever make it out of these woods alive. The video ended abruptly, and nobody knows what happened next.
Please, no, please!
Forest friend.
Oh, come on inside!
One sunny day in June 2023, a woman went for her usual walk in the woods. But that day was different. A big figure moved in the bushes nearby. There, just off the path, stood a tall figure she had never seen before. It had brown fur all over, except for its face and hands. The creature paid no interest to see her. Before she could get a better look, it went its way behind the trees, leaving the woman with an amazing tale of her close encounter in the familiar woods.
Oh, come on inside!
Utah Creek Mystery. On an October day in 2020, a strange thing happened in Logan Canyon, Utah. A man and his son were driving through a hunting area when they spotted an odd figure. Near the creek bed, a dark shape was walking alone. At first, they thought it might be a hunter, but why wasn't it wearing bright orange clothes like hunters should? Curious, they came back later with a research team. Using a tall man for comparison, they figured out the mysterious walker was huge. It was about 7 or 8 feet tall. It definitely wasn't a person or any kind of animal you'd normally see. It was something completely different. They concluded that it might be a Bigfoot, the legendary ape-like creature said to inhabit forests, often described as large and mysterious. Family in the forest. In a forest, a hunter's routine day turned into an unforgettable adventure when he spotted a creature that emerged from the bushes, walking on 2 legs. But it wasn't alone. Behind it came another, slightly smaller, carrying its baby in its arms. The hunter realized that it was not an ordinary animal, but he actually just witnessed a family of Bigfoot. This rare sight of a Bigfoot couple with their little one left the hunter with an amazing story to tell of the gentle giants. Bigfoot sighting. This skier got more than just a nice view at the top of a mountain. As he prepared to zoom down, he caught a glimpse of something that made him go completely stunned. A figure was standing right in front of him. Okay, a little to the side, not that close. The skier could only see the bushy figure's back, so luckily it didn't notice him. This giant looked massive and powerful as it walked through the snow with heavy steps. It was none other than a legendary Bigfoot. Not wanting to get too close, the skier quickly changed his direction and went back. Sometimes, the best mountain adventures happen before you even start skiing. Snowy being. One lucky camper's trail cam did something incredible. In the snow-covered woods, it captured footage of a dark figure moving behind the trees. The video was strangely short, but one thing was crystal clear. This wasn't any average forest dweller. The large, shadowy shape moved with purpose. Bigfoot enthusiasts were thrilled, analyzing every frame for clues. But they had no luck. This teasing sight of a Bigfoot facing the winter cold left everyone wanting to see more. Watcher in the woods. A hunter settled into his hiding spot near an elk wallow, just 20 feet away. A scary creature peeked out from behind a massive tree trunk. The hunter got scared. It had the typical features of a wild creature, the Bigfoot. For a moment, they stared at each other. The hunter realized he might have become the watched instead of the watcher. The hunter knew this was one hunting story no one would ever believe. Mystery in woods. One summer day in 2023, a strange event happened in the woods. While enjoying nature, a person suddenly spotted what seemed like a huge bear. But as he looked closer, he realized it was no ordinary animal. Hidden in the bushes was a creature. It was so tall and wide that it made the trees look small. The person guessed it might be 7 to 9 feet tall, way bigger than any person. When the creature noticed it was being watched, it quickly ran away and hid. The video of this encounter got lots of people talking. Was it really a Sasquatch? It left everyone wondering what exactly was hiding in those woods that day. Surprise on the trail. On a sunny day in August 2013, two friends driving home in Canada decided to stop for a quick hike. Just 200 feet into the forest, they saw something that made them regret their decision. About some feet away stood a hairy figure. At first, they thought it was a bear looking for food, but then he noticed its head was shaped strangely. It was hard to tell what it was, but it looked like a Bigfoot. As the mystery beast started to move away, they decided it was time to leave too. They drove home with an amazing story to tell. Watchful watcher. In the woods near an old native burial ground, the camera fixed by the camper recorded a video of an unusual creature standing still in the forest. This wasn't just any animal, it was the legendary beast known as Kiaka and Whoppy away. The creature seemed to know it was being watched. It stood there for a moment as if posing for the camera. Then, just as quietly as it appeared, the beast walked away into the shadows. When the camper checked their camera later, he couldn't believe what he saw. Had he really caught footage of a legendary creature? The video will leave everyone wondering what other secrets those old woods might be hiding. Highway Harry Harrier. A group of friends was on a road trip when they noticed something strange on the mountaintop. A creature was running along the ridge. It moved in a strange way, not like any animal they'd ever seen. The friends watched as it ran quickly from one peak to another. Then, just as quickly as it appeared, the creature stopped on top of the far mountain. Everyone in the car was silent for a moment. What did they just see? Was it Bigfoot out for a jog? Whatever it was, it turned their normal drive into an extraordinary adventure. Roadside Bigfoot. Have you ever driven your truck to work and seen something that couldn't be real? That's what happened to a truck driver in Canada. He was just doing his job near a place called Sunchild First Nation Reservation when his dashboard camera caught a scary figure. Right there, next to the road, stood a creature covered in black fur. It was staring right at the truck, standing over 2 meters tall. The driver didn't even notice it and kept on driving, but his camera saw everything. The video caused a lot of excitement. Was it the best proof yet that Bigfoot is real? But one thing's for certain. After seeing the video, the truck driver is now keeping his eyes on the roadside. Yeti's midnight snack. On a frosty night in a snowy landscape, a security camera was set up to watch for bears or wolves, but what it recorded was way scarier. Out of the darkness, a creature emerged into view. It was heading straight for a dish of food left out for wildlife. As it bent down to eat, the camera got a good look at its scary face and giant clawed hands. This was no ordinary animal. It was a Yeti. Suddenly, the Yeti noticed the camera. It let out a scary roar and charged towards the lens. The last thing the camera recorded was a close-up of the Yeti's angry face and sharp teeth. When the owners checked the footage later, they couldn't believe their eyes that they really catch the legendary Yeti on film. Shadow in the Springs. Campers in Colorado Springs got the surprise of their lives. At first, they thought it was just a shadow, but then it moved. The creature walked on 2 legs, but it definitely wasn't human, with long arms and shaggy fur. The camper got scared. Was this the legendary Bigfoot? Amazingly, the Sasquatch didn't seem angry or scary. It just ambled along, maybe looking for berries or nuts to eat. The brave campers managed to film it, capturing proof of what most people only dream of seeing. They were left with an incredible story and a video that would make them famous. Pine squid. In the Amazon jungle, some friends spotted a creature that was as black as night, with skin that looked like it was covered in oil. It had long, bendy arms like tentacles that wrap around branches. People say it can even change color to hide in the forest. The pine squid only comes out at night, which makes it super spooky. Some folks say it can freeze you in place just by touching you. Others think it can turn invisible. The people who live in remote areas were really scared of the pine squid. It's one Amazon creature they don't want to meet on a dark night in the rainforest. Bigfoot's big footprints. Ever wonder what it would be like to find real Bigfoot tracks? Well, one lucky trucker got to find out. A guy stopped his truck outside San Antonio after rain made the ground muddy, perfect for leaving footprints. But these weren't just footprints. These were huge. The trucker said each step was twice as long as a normal person's. And get this, the footprint was 1.5 times bigger than a work boot. That's one big foot. So what do you think? Did Bigfoot take a midnight stroll in San Antonio? Or is there another explanation for these giant tracks? Whatever it was, I bet that trucker checks the ground a little more carefully now when he stops his truck. Man-beast of Peru. In the deep, shadowy jungles of Peru, there's a legend about El Hombre Bestia, a massive creature said to guard the forest, standing more than 5 feet tall with fur as dark as the night and claws sharp enough to tear through anything. This mysterious beast is no ordinary cryptid. Its glowing eyes, resembling angry fireflies, are enough to stop anyone in their tracks. But unlike other monsters, El Hombre Bestia isn't hunting for prey. Instead, it serves as the jungle's protector, acting as a warning system for anyone who dares harm the trees or disturb the environment. For those brave enough to venture into the jungle, staying on the tourist trails is wise. This giant guardian values peace and quiet above all else. Farmer's prehistoric surprise. While stepping out to check his crops, a farmer came across something that looked like it came straight from Jurassic Park. This mystery beast was so big, with a body like a dinosaur and features no one's ever seen before. It got people wondering, did we skip a few pages in the history books? Some folks believed it was just a big hoax, but others weren't sure. After all, we're still finding new species in remote corners of the world. Could this be proof that some of Earth's ancient giants are still roaming around? One thing's for sure, that farmer's got a story his grandkids will never believe. Bigfoot on ice? A photo is making waves that could change everything we think we know about Bigfoot. A massive, hairy creature with reddish-brown fur, looking like a cross between an ape and a human. But here's the kicker. It was preserved in the block of ice. The person who shared this mind-blowing image swears it's the real deal. He claims to have stumbled upon this preserved Bigfoot during an exploration and couldn't believe his eyes. Of course, he whipped out his camera to capture the proof. As you look at the frozen figure with its huge frame and familiar Bigfoot features, it's hard not to wonder that this can finally be the evidence that proves Bigfoot isn't just a tall tale. Glowing eyes in the dark. A lost hiker was trying to find his way out of the woods at night when his flashlight beam stumbled on 2 glowing white eyes that were staring right at him. There, in the darkness, stood an unusual creature. Its eyes reflected the light like a cat's, but this was no kitty. The hiker realized he might be face to face with the legendary Bigfoot. Luckily for our hiker, this Bigfoot seemed more curious than hungry. The moment it realized it had been spotted, the creature turned and ran behind the trees. The hiker knew how close he came to danger. After all, if a hungry Bigfoot decided you were dinner, there's not much chance of escape in the dark forest. Running Bigfoot.
What the? Holy shit.
A guy was filming the beautiful nature around him when he suddenly saw a man running toward him. At first, it seemed normal, but then he noticed a huge creature chasing the man. The creature was fast and strong, and when it spotted the filmer, it quickly changed direction and disappeared behind the trees, vanishing from sight. The guy who was filming felt a mix of fear and excitement. He ran after it, hoping to catch a glimpse of the mysterious creature, but it was gone for good.
What the? Holy shit.
Colossal orangutan in East Kalimantan, Indonesia, in July 2024. A local captured a creature doing odd stuff, but this wasn't your average ape. We're talking King Kong's cousin here. The massive orangutan, as big as a house, decided to take a stroll through the neighborhood. When it tried to hang from a tree, the poor branch didn't stand a chance against this supersized simian. But why would such a big guy leave the jungle for the burbs? Sadly, it seems his forest home had been chopped down by illegal loggers. This giant orangutan's unexpected visit was a stark reminder of how human actions can have huge consequences for wildlife. Mysterious woods encounter. In the woods of Maine, a hiker's peaceful walk took an unexpected turn. As he walked along a leafy path, an unusual figure caught his eyes. Behind a tree trunk, a huge black figure stood motionless, observing the hiker. Suddenly, the strange shape began to move and disappeared behind the trees. The hiker realized he had just seen the extraordinary Sasquatch. This lucky wanderer had stumbled upon a creature of legend, making his simple hike a day he'd never forget. Sleeping Sasquatch. Have you ever seen a sleeping Sasquatch so close? One daring explorer claimed he did when he spotted a strange being resting and decided to grab a hair sample from a sleeping Sasquatch. As the camera moved closer, viewers held their breath, wondering what would happen if it woke up. But would a genuine Sasquatch really let someone get so close while it slept? Just as the tension reached its peak, the video abruptly cut off. The unexpected ending left everyone hanging, but it seems like he made it out safely, as the video was uploaded to his account. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to see it. British Columbia Bigfoot. In the forests of British Columbia, a man's peaceful walk turned into an encounter he'd never forget. His camera captured an amazing sight, a clear view of a figure moving smoothly between the towering trees. It wasn't a bear or a person. This creature matched every description of the legendary Bigfoot. The beast's long, dark fur moved gently as it walked. Its movements were powerful. As it vanished into the shadows, the man stood in realizing he now possessed amazing proof of his woodland encounter. Forest freeze. On a forest path, a hiker's adventure took an unexpected turn. In the distance, an unusual creature moved between the trees. Even the nearby deer froze in their tracks. Their instincts sensed trouble. The man watched in amazement as the mysterious figure moved through the woods, unaware of its stunned audience. Its massive form dwarfed the surrounding bushes. Lucky for the deer and the hiker, it didn't notice them. They all stayed completely silent until it finally disappeared into the thick forest. Caged giant. Have you ever seen a creature in a cage that you have never seen in real life? That's what happened in this wild video. Instead of lions or bears, there was a massive creature in the cage. It wasn't happy about being locked up and tried to break free. The big beast looked super angry. People watching couldn't believe their eyes. They have finally captured the legendary creature. But as always, the local authorities jumped in and asked the people to remove the footage from media sources. Except it was impossible to do. Nighttime visitor. One night in October 2023, a hidden camera in the woods caught a spooky creature. First, at 10:26 p.m., the camera showed a police officer walking by with a weapon. That was strange enough. But 3 minutes later, something even weirder appeared. A creature walked slowly past the camera. This wasn't a bear or a lion. It was about 8 feet tall and super wide. It looked like the Bigfoot from stories. A police officer was in the woods at night, possibly looking for the creature, while the creature might have been hunting him. It seemed like they were after each other. No one knows for sure where this happened or what the creature really was, but it sure gave everyone who saw the video a big surprise and lots to think about. Mysterious baby in the woods. Have you ever found a weird thing while out for a walk? In February 2021, a hiker stumbled upon a strange creature in the woods. He spotted a creature lying on the ground. The little creature wasn't moving, which worried the hiker. As they got closer, he couldn't believe his eyes. This baby looked just like a tiny Sasquatch. It had all the features people talk about when they describe Sasquatch: big feet, lots of hair, and a human-like face. The hiker took a quick video and posted it online, and he did convince the people that it was, after all, a Bigfoot. Mountain mystery. On a clear day, a hiker was enjoying a peaceful walk in the mountains. He spotted a huge figure moving on the mountain across from him. It was way bigger than any person or normal animal. The hiker watched as the giant shape walked across the rocky slope. Then, it disappeared into the thick forest, left the hiker wondering what he had just witnessed. Was it the famous Bigfoot or some other mountain mystery? Either way, this was one hike they'd never forget. Creek's Edge Enigma. Have you ever felt like you were being watched in the woods? At the edge of a creek, a horse rider felt uneasy. Suddenly, behind an old tree, a strange shape appeared. It wasn't human, and it definitely wasn't an animal the rider had ever seen before. The creature peeked out, its alien-like features barely visible in the shadows. For a moment, the rider and the mysterious being locked eyes. Then, quick as a flash, it ducked back behind the tree, leaving the guy shocked. Dog horse mystery. A hiker, while hiking, stumbled upon a creature straight out of a storybook. There was an animal unlike any other. It had the sleek body of a horse, but its face was more like a dog's. Its shaggy black coat was visible as it turned to look at the stunned hiker. Was it a horse that escaped from a costume party? Or maybe a dog that ate some magic beans? Whatever it was, this dog horse was definitely not the average forest animal. The hiker rushed for his camera, knowing that no one would ever believe this story without proof. Shadow in the Springs. In 2016, a video from Iraq took the internet by storm. It started simple enough, someone tossing a brick into a dark cave hole. But then, things got weird, fast. The person suddenly started trying to cover the hole with a big rock, as if their life depended on it. Just as viewers were wondering what the fuss was about, a pitch-black head poked out of the hole. It wasn't human, and it definitely wasn't any normal cave animal. The creature fought hard to get out, while the humans desperately tried to trap it back inside. The video cut off right at the most exciting part, leaving everyone wondering, what was that thing? Did it escape? And why was it hidden in that cave? This clip left more questions than answers, sparking wild theories about what secrets might be lurking in the dark corners of our world. The Nahual Chase. On a road in Mexico, a man was seen running for his life, and right behind him was a creature straight out of nightmares. This wasn't just any monster. The locals called it a Nahual. In Mexican folklore, Nahuals are powerful shamans who can transform into animals. However, this one looked more like the famous Chupacabra. The video of this crazy chase spread like wildfire. Some people said it was just a big dog, but others weren't so sure. In a land full of ancient mysteries, could this be proof that legends sometimes come to life? One thing's for sure, that poor man running won't forget his close encounter anytime soon. Chupacabra in Santa Fe? One July in Santa Fe, New Mexico, a hiker spotted something that made him stop in his tracks. There, sitting on the ground, was a creature unlike anything he had ever seen. It wasn't a coyote, it wasn't a bear. It looked like the legendary Chupacabra. This creature from Latin American folklore is said to suck the life of livestock, leaving farmers confused and searching for answers. The hiker, hands shaking with fear, managed to film a few seconds of the bizarre beast. Its weird shape matched all the Chupacabra stories. Was this proof that the Chupacabra is real, or just a case of mistaken identity in the New Mexico heat? Let me know what you guys think. Sky Dragon. A bizarre creature was caught on camera by a forest photographer sitting on the edge of a cliff in broad daylight. The beast resembled a dragon from ancient tales. Its massive, bat-like wings were stretching wider than any known flying animal. The footage showed the creature perched high above the landscape. Its size was hard to judge, but it seemed much larger than any bird or bat. The clear image of something so strange made people wonder what other surprises nature might hold. The dragon-like shape was easy to see, but understanding what it really was still remains a mystery. Five-eyed lab monster. A video appeared in which a guy was standing in a lab, face to face with a big creature that barely fits in the frame. But that's not even the weirdest part. It had 5 eyes, and they were all glowing blue, like something out of a sci-fi movie. Its face was super long, with horns sticking out the top. Oh, and did I mention the crazy big nose and teeth? It looked like someone mixed up a bunch of animals in a blender, and this is what popped out. What in the world was that thing? Was it some kind of secret experiment? One thing's for sure, that guy in the lab probably had some wild stories to tell his friends. Goatman's camping surprise. While camping in the woods, a camper spotted a creature that only exists in nightmares. This camper saw a creature crawling around, its shaggy body a weird, shadowy color, but its head bright white, with big horns sticking out. At first, the creature was far away, but then, in the blink of an eye, boom! The Goatman was right there, up close. The Goatman was believed to be 7 feet tall. That's taller than a basketball hoop. The video ends there, leaving us all wondering, did the camper make it out okay? Either way, I bet they'll think twice before going into those woods again. Turkey's mountain mystery. In the footage, we see a creature that looks like it was designed by a committee that couldn't agree on anything. It had horns like a goat, but its eyes were glowing like a predator's. That's not something anyone wants to meet on a dark mountain trail. The darkness and distance made it hard to get a good look. Maybe it was something a little more supernatural. This mystery figure had left everyone scratching their heads. But one thing's for certain, hikers in Turkey might want to pack some extra snacks. You know, just in case they need to distract any hungry mountain monsters. Roadside encounter. Has your peaceful night drive ever turned into a scene from your worst nightmares? That's exactly what happened to one unlucky couple. As their headlights cut through the dark, they saw something terrifying on the road. It wasn't human or animal. It was something else. The creature's twisted limbs moved in unnatural ways. But the scariest part? It was hunched over a still human body. Was it feeding or something worse? The couple was confused between helping or escaping. Their panicked voices echoed in the car as they debated.
Mira! Ay, Dios mío! Dios mío, Dios mío, Dios mío!
The video ended suddenly, leaving everyone wondering what choice they made. Werewolf captured. As night fell, a trail camera of a camper spotted a strange figure slipping out of the darkness in the forest. It moved quietly through the grass, sniffing the air, searching for its next meal. The creature looked like a terrifying werewolf. Its strong presence filled the air with fear and wonder. A nearby hiker watched in shock as the figure paused to listen. Was it a mythical creature known as the man-wolf? For a moment, the hiker felt both afraid and fascinated. This was a sight he would never forget, and a story no one would believe. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day.
My father acquired the Bigfoot.
YouTube's latest viral sensation, a video claiming to show a real Bigfoot. But this isn't your average shaky forest footage. This Sasquatch has been chillin' in the preserver for 65 years. The uploader says his dad caught the giant back in the day.
My father acquired the Bigfoot September 23rd, 1953.
And decided to keep it cool. Really cool. In the video, we see a massive, brown, furry figure that looks just like the Bigfoot of legend. It's not moving, but it's got all the classic Bigfoot features. Is this the proof cryptid hunters have been waiting for? The mighty, legendary creature? Let me know what you guys think in the comments.